Hello everybody, it's Joe here and welcome back once again to my F1 2021 career mode. We are now into the last few races of Season 3 as I just don't even acknowledge the corners there, I cut it that badly. But if you haven't seen the last race from Suzuka, I urge you to go back and check that one out before you come back and check this one out. This is your last chance to do so before spoilers. Well, it wasn't the most exciting of races last time out, but it was a win. A triumphant win at Suzuka, and a much needed win as well. And now, the championship's pretty much, well, I wouldn't want to say in the bag, but I've got a healthy lead of 43 points coming into this race. So, hopefully now we can build on that and try and get this championship over as soon as possible. In terms of the constructors, however, we're still a little bit behind, so I don't think it's going to be the Constructors' Championship, but we are going for the Drivers' Championship, and we need a better lap in Q2, but we just couldn't do it. And we're starting the US Grand Prix from 12th.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, where 20 corners and speeds of up to 200 miles an hour await us on this magnificent racetrack. It's 60% full throttle with plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the two DRS zones into turn 1 and at the end of the long back straight into turn 12. What a race we have in store today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position with Pierre Gasly alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda and Leclerc, Norris, Joker, Giovinazzi and Lance Stroll, Russell, Perez and Guan Yu Zhou and Button, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz. They've taken a grid penalty. Ocon, Vettel, Markelov and Nikita Mazepin. And with
Right then, it's time to begin this race. Crucially, Perez has a penalty. Verstappen still third, so our Red Bull rivals still right up there. It's lights out and away we go for the US Grand Prix. We got a decent start for once. We've got someone on our right trying to go. And Lance Stroll just going full send down the inside there. Going straight into Verstappen. That was brave from Stroll. And we're now going to go around the outside of a very slow-moving Tsunoda, who I think got caught up in Stroll's monster dive bomb at the front, and as a result has taken front wing damage. Stroll is now tucked right up behind Verstappen, and I think he's also must be suffering some front wing damage for Stroll to be able to follow him that closely. So Verstappen and Tsunoda both taking damage there. We're going to go down the inside of Stroll. Is he going to yield that one? Yes, he does. He's still kind of there, but Stroll accepts it and backs out. Now we need to have a go at Verstappen. No, Stroll's not backed out. He's having a look on the right. I'm having to go defensive because Stroll is still trying to take P4 from me, but we're going to hold the inside line and keep that position. So it's been a great first lap for us, moving from 8th to 4th, helped by Stroll going full send at the first corner and damaging two front wings, and thus causing people to be held up behind the drivers with damaged front wings. But we're now up into P3, having passed Max Verstappen, who is ailing with a damaged wing as well. And that start could not have gone better. And Pierre Gasly leading the way. And in fact, Verstappen's day culminating here in even more misery with an engine failure of sorts. That, well, actually, no, that looks more electrical, actually. The car's not smoking, but a failure on Verstappen's car, just completing what is a day of misery for him. Right, P3 now following Gasly and Bottas, who have just completely got away out front. I'm trying to pull a gap to Stroll. Hamilton is catching him and me at this stage, so at this stage both the Mercedes are very quick, and we're going to see now Lewis Hamilton. He's going to have a look on Lance Stroll. Stroll goes defensive, but Hamilton able to get the move done before he gets to the corner. And you see here Pierre Gasly leading the way by Valtteri Bottas. And Bottas not even that close to Gasly. So Gasly once again, like a rocket, off and away. What a season he's had. And as we come into the closing section, I can't deny that Gasly has had a fantastic season. Right, into the pits for my one and only stop. I was quite high up, and I believe that some of the others are either two-stopping or going on to hard. So, running long on the softs, again like I did in Suzuka. I'm seeing if I can make this strategy work. And, yeah, we're still behind Hamilton, sadly. But Hamilton pitted in early and has gone on to another set of soft tyres. We've got Lando Norris right behind me. And I think at this stage it's crucial to keep Norris behind. Jenson Button is around 8 seconds behind, so if he cruises up to me, I'm not going to hold him up. Going to play the team game here. Button actually starting way down, again due to an engine penalty, like with what Perez had. So, an unfortunate component change penalty starting to hit some of the drivers at this stage of the season, as we now try and get away from Norris, although Norris is not leaving me alone, he's still there. And in fact, the top two did pit in and take on a set of soft tyres. There's no way they're going to the end, so they will have to pit again. We don't. So this could come up very nicely for me if I can keep this car going to the end of the race. We are going along very nicely here in P3. Norris is starting to get closer. He's really getting interested in having a look, but I'm not interested in making it easy for him. However, this time round, Norris is there. He's given me a little bit of a love tap as I go to defend. It was late defending, but I now hog the middle of the circuit, and that doesn't really give Norris very many options on where to go, unfortunately for him. Right, we are now resuming, and that's Bottas, I believe, coming out of the pit lane. Is he going to be ahead of us? No, he is not. So we have taken the lead of the US Grand Prix, and we are leading it nicely, but now we've got Bottas on much newer tyres right behind me, and I really struggle with this first sector here. I've gone a little bit deep, but Bottas trying to stick his nose in. Not happening, Valtteri. Not today, sunshine. You can stay right back. You can stay behind me. Lap 18, Bottas not giving me any room for error at all here, and in fact, he's right within the DRS zone, and this could be an attack from Valtteri, so we're going to have to prepare to defend as if my life depends on it. We go to the left to cover off Bottas. He goes to the right. He has got ahead, but I'm going to break that a little bit later and force my car down the inside. Bottas did have or think about a look down the left there, but he backed out of that one quite sensibly. Oh, that's a little bit wide round there. That's not the sort of thing I want to be doing. Right, pit straight. Another DRS zone. Is Bottas going to have a look? He's getting closer and closer. I covered the inside. Bottas going to the outside, covering the inside line there. Bottas, well, there wasn't really anywhere he could go. We get very sideways out of the first corner though, and this could put Bottas on me round the fast left-rights at sector 1. Oh, I'm really not liking these corners at all, and Bottas just looking for a way to try and get through, but there's no way through there. Right, down to the long straight. I am ahead. Bottas is behind. Once again, am I going to need to defend? He's cruising right up behind me. I take the inside line. I make my defensive move. Bottas goes to the outside. Brake later, however. Bottas has nowhere to go. So we are just about keeping the lead. Right, we're riding on board with Bottas. Now he's clipped into me. Bottas clips into me and damages his wing. How? I was just going through the first sector corners. Bottas got such a run on me, but then he just misjudged where I was, went into me and went round and damaged his front wing. Meanwhile, we're now watching Jenson Button, I believe, trying to get past what I think is Italian Jesus. So all cracking off here at the US Grand Prix, but we're on lap 23 of 28. I'm leading the way quite comfortably from Hamilton and Perez. We're now going to the left-hander and we've gone round! I don't believe it! I do not believe it! Leading the race, we have just gone into the corner a little bit too hard, pushing too hard to maintain the gap to Hamilton, and round it goes. We just clipped that curb, got down on the throttle a little bit too eagerly, and it just went round. Hamilton goes through. We've now got the agonising long right-hander with tyres that are far too hot. Now we're coming into the left-hander. Round it goes again. The tyres are just too hot on the rear, and I'm really struggling to grip the car. We've gone round a second time. Through goes Sergio Perez into P2. And now we're in P3, and I'm having to go very, very slowly through some of the corners just until these tyres aren't overheated and I can start generating grip again. But I've well and truly thrown away a win here. And as we get nearer to the end of the race, yes, I have acquired a 3-second time penalty for track extending. But I will admit, at that point, I just started driving with frustration. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe it. I have thrown away a win. And now it's going to be P3 with Sergio Perez finishing ahead of me. And he's going to be grateful for being able to just take a little bit of a nibble out of my championship lead. But it's Lewis Hamilton winning. Perez gets second. It's still a podium finish, so I can't really complain too much in retrospect of where I started, but kicking myself for that.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
I think the salt kind of kicked in as well because I wasn't interested in hearing what Crofty had to say. I am so gutted with that. But Hamilton takes the win. Perez takes second from P12 on the grid as well. That's an impressive drive by Perez. He did what I did and pitted only once. Stroll fourth, Giovinazzi fifth, Button sixth, then it's Leclerc, Norris, Bottas and Gasly. So Gasly, who was leading at the start, just falling back through the field during that race. That was gutting to lose the race in such a way, but there's the championship standings. I still maintain a gap of 36 points to Hamilton and 40 to Perez. So 4 contenders become 3 because I think Verstappen has just dropped that little bit out of it. And in the constructors, it's still all to play for. Anyway, thanks for watching. TTFN.